we're going to talk about Winston Churchill today. I'm going to go to the Churchill War Rooms today. Prime Minister of England during World War II, and just very instrumental in winning the war and who he was, and actually just facilitating those relationships with America and Russia to bring about the Allied powers that were the stronghold that were able to overtake the Socialist Party of Germany. So we're going to go to his war rooms today, where he operated from during the war for protection. After him. But this is King Charles Street. We're like a block away from Parliament. It didn't take me long to get over here from Parliament Square, but this is where the Churchill War Rooms are, and right inside that building there, downstairs, like bunkers, right, to keep you safe from the bombing, from the blitz and things that are happening, and to plan, and far enough away from the government buildings, but close enough that you can still be around decision makers and the heart of the action. So it's very understandable that his war rooms were here. Here we go. So Winston Churchill would sit in that chair, the wooden chair in the middle, and they have a list of basically all the people and how it was laid out. But Churchill sat there and directed.
Prime Minister, I have reservations.
Who's free of reservations?
This is how it looked October 15th, 1940, shortly before a 5 p.m. meeting in the war room. And these are some of the people of the war cabinet. So they adapted the basement of the strongest building in Whitehall and discreetly recruited staff. Cabinet War Rooms, as they became known, opened 27 August 1939, a week after the war broke out. And so these are the people probably responsible for setting it up, logistics.
There are a good many people who say, never mind, win or lose, sink or swim, better die than submit to tyranny, and such a tyranny. And I do not dissociate myself from them. But I can assure them that our professional advisors of the three services unitedly advise that we should carry on the war, and that there are good and reasonable hopes of final victory.
Gas mask adapted so switchboard operators could continue their work. Wow.
We have fully informed and consulted all the self-governing dominions. These great communities, far beyond the oceans, who have been built up on our laws and on our civilization, and who are absolutely free to choose their course, but are absolutely devoted to the ancient motherland, and who feel themselves inspired by the same emotions which lead me to stake our all upon duty and honor.
The one shining light seems to be Churchill, whose gloomy predictions of the past few wars have been so dramatically realized. I should say the Premier could afford to make a few mistakes, yet hold his position.
To ride out the storm of war and to outlive the menace of tyranny, if necessary, for years, if necessary, alone.
Only Prime Minister to wear a military uniform while in office. It probably had to be specially made, because you should be that size in the military.
At any rate, that is what we are going to try to do. That is the resolve of His Majesty's government, every man of them. That is the will of Parliament and the nation. The British Empire and the French Republic, linked together in their cause and in their need, will defend to the death their native soil, aiding each other like good comrades to the utmost of their strength. We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world, with all its power and might, steps forth to the rescue and the liberation of the old. Therefore, brace ourselves to our duties, and so bear ourselves that if the British Empire and its Commonwealth last for 1,000 years, men will still say, this was their finest hour.
Got married and lived happily ever after. Aw, about his wife. How sweet. Because they're drawing of him and his wife, and letters, probably like them courting. So this is when he's re-elected, and here's his door from 10 Downing Street. Home and office of the Prime Minister. So you think of 10 Downing Street, like 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? The address of the Prime Minister. Churchill's orders, decoration, and medals. He's accused of being a medal hunter. So I am just leaving the Churchill War Rooms. That was awesome. The War Rooms were awesome, and then the museum was awesome. So it's like two separate things, but look at the line. When you come here, make sure you try to buy your tickets early because it is packed and it's tight down there. So I sat and had coffee. I shopped in the gift shop. I got some whiskey for Scott and some other funny things, some war posters that I thought were pretty interesting about women. But definitely, if you make it out to London, I definitely recommend visiting it. It was so neat to see. It was neat to see his bedroom and his wife's bedroom and how they lived and how they, maintained a sense of normalcy while they're trying to, fight a war, while they're trying to protect themselves from bombing. It was very interesting. And then the museum has a ton of artifacts about his life. Only been open since 2005, but it was definitely worth the visit. On to my next Walk with History.